So this is a great plan. I'm parked here at J. Cook State Park. Cost me $35 for an annual Minnesota State Park pass. Park here for the whole trip. Trailhead's right up here about 200 feet. This worked out perfect. So the logistics of my original plan have been going pretty well except for weather. So everything seemed to work out. I got to J. Cook, found a nice place to park my car, and my plan was to hike as far as the zoo in Duluth and then catch a bus through Duluth to the transit center and then a bus today, Tuesday, to Grand Marais. So I did make it 19-20 miles to the zoo. The problem is, and there's plenty of places out on that trail to find a little hidey hole, but it started out really hot and muggy on Monday morning, and then it just opened up and it rained hard all day. It was like the trail was just a river. And even before the rain, I knew I was going to have to get a campground with a laundry and a shower, just to be fair to the people that I'm going to be sitting on the bus with today. I smelled pretty bad. So anyway, I came into this Indian Point campground, which is directly toward Lake Superior from the zoo, not too far off the trail, and got my laundry and shower this morning, and I've got I don't catch my bus at the transit center in Duluth till like 3:30, 4 o'clock, so I've got plenty of time. But it's raining again today. Went to a bar last night to have a bite to eat and left my umbrella, so I'm waiting for the bar to open so I can hopefully get my umbrella back. I need it. Okay, another little pucker snatch. I just noticed my hip belt's coming apart right at the right side pocket. Sitting at the bus stop sewing my Kakwa 40 back together. This is where the waist belt hooks to the material right by the right pocket. Just ripped right out. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Grand Marais, Minnesota. Up early, 5 o'clock. I gotta catch a bus at 7. Don't think I'm gonna find any breakfast here. Grand Marais, Minnesota, according to the donut shop marketing, is used for truck traffic. Best donut in the world, but it doesn't open till 7. Now if I was a baker, bakers get up before owls go to sleep. If I was a baker, I'd be going home at 7. I would have sold out and gone home at 7. Who ever heard of a bakery opening at 7 o'clock? Those are bankers' hours. Anyway, had a small problem, so I started out yesterday in Duluth in the morning and noticed right away that my Kakwa 40 pack hip belt was ripping out right where the buckle meets the pocket. And so any ultralighters out there that don't carry a needle and thread, this is a perfect example of why you should. I was able to sew it up and fix it yesterday at the transit center, and I think I did a pretty good job. One little problem, I'm blind in one eye and I really don't know how to sew that well, so when I went to get my beanie cap out of my hip pocket last night, it was sewn in. so I had to rip those stitches out and re-stitch it a little bit. Anyway, I put a picture of that on Facebook, and within a couple of hours I heard from Dan Durston himself, who offered to send me a pack on the trail here, but I'm really not screaming warranty. I mean, I've got a couple thousand miles on this. I expect packs to not have too many problems with that few miles. I mean, that's not even a through hike, but when I looked at it, it kind of looked like an open gash wound, but it really wasn't that bad. It's just either the Ultra gave. I could see padding in there, but I sewed it up, and I sewed it straight through to the hip belt itself and to the Ultra, and it doesn't look too bad. There's still a lot of life left in this pack, and you know, I don't want to scream warranty for something as small as that. I think this will not probably be a problem. We'll see in the next 300 miles, but you know, scat happens. You just have to deal with it, and again, be prepared. Bring some needle and thread. I would have had to be scavenging around Duluth looking for needle and thread yesterday if I didn't have any. I did hear from somebody on Facebook also that they told me about a shop in Duluth, but I just didn't have time. I was catching buses. Got a bus up here to Grand Marais. Now I got to catch another bus to a little town called Hovland, and then I've got about a 16-mile walk to the northern terminus. There were a couple more hikers on the bus last night. They're gonna leave here. The trail's about 2 miles up out of town here, and they're just gonna go south from here and skip the first 50 miles because, like me, they didn't want to spend 187 bucks for a shuttle. I know how you feel. I'm trying to find some breakfast in this town too. Okay, one of these buses is my ride, my last ride. I did find breakfast south of the border. Next stop, Hovland. Okay, there's no nosebleed here, but it is the highest point on the trail. So I arrived alive. Been a long day, 16 miles to get up here. And it's not over yet. I'm going to go back to the last campground, which is about 4 miles back tonight. But the official southbound through hike begins now. And luckily I didn't fly out here. Between Cloud Strike, I think it was, and Microsoft, they had the biggest tech outage in history. A lot of planes didn't fly. A lot of things didn't fly around the world. But Delta was especially hit. And that would have been my flight into Duluth. So the whole bus thing worked out pretty well. I got dropped off this morning in Hovland. She let me right off at the road going up to the trail. And the trail's been pretty good. You know, it was 13.8 miles when I actually hit the trail to here. And there's some pretty thick stuff that hasn't been cut out that you're just kind of swimming through. But basically, it's good tread. You can't get lost hardly on this trail so far. So I left home Sunday morning, and this is Wednesday at 5:45, and a few bus rides and about 33 or 4 miles of hiking the wrong direction, and I made it here. Would I suggest other people do it this way? That's totally up to you. You can get a shuttle just right up to a mile down the trail here and get you here. But life's an adventure. Getting to the trailhead's just all part of the adventure. So the northern terminus of the Superior Trail is, of course, the North Country Trail, but also the beginning of the Border Route Trail, which sounds very interesting to me. I may have to come and try this next year. So I'm at the Andy Creek camp. First camp you hit southbound on the trail, just 3 miles down. Water, nice sight. Gonna call it a day. Keep smiling.